All right, so we're going to look at this. It's our fourth episode on subject. So let's get to a good position. So in the time in between, I came up with a name, which is CocoaPods Metrics Metadata Service. It's not super original, but it's descriptive. And gave it a README, told people how to get set up and do some, general repo setup, nothing big, and more importantly, no actual work. So that's up and now available for people to use. Let me get myself back into being able to work on it. So I think at the end of the last one, I was complaining about lack of tests. So let's turn on some music for me in the background. Cool. Alright, so we don't want this folder, we want to go into cd CocoaPods metrics. Yeah, metadata. There's already one called CocoaPods metrics, so it's going to be confusing if we call them the same thing. Okay, so let's have a look at this. The last thing I was talking about was a lack of tests. So we had source. We got the pod spec stuff. We got some tests around the server and the webhook that is, a pretty good start, but are not really where we want to be at the end of the day. So let's try to take a look at what we did previously. So I added this get GitHub metadata from a pod spec. So maybe that's a good thing to start writing a bit of test for. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it is, because I already did it. There's an API. I could make a quick test for that. It should take a second. API.test.ts. I could probably just copy and paste this almost entirely and start from that. So it only really needs one test, which is it creates an API with the what's the actual token? How does it get a token? It hard codes it right now. That's great. I was thinking about that earlier and wondered if it knocked it off. So this is now going to be from process. So this token is going to come from process globals. Yes. Just have a look at that. Globals. AWS. We will need a GitHub API key. So GitHub access token is the real name of them. Maybe it's security token. I can't remember. They might have changed it recently. Can it run without? Yeah. Should it run without? Definitely not. So we can now use that in there and let the autocomplete bring it in. Okay, so now we actually have something to test. We have test that this comes in as we expect, and we also test that it runs authenticate with it. So we can just edit process at run. Well, let's use Jest to mock it. I think is probably the right option. So Jest.mock at octokit/rest. It needs to return a class. I feel like there's something complicated about this. How do you do it? Let's have a quick look. Just mock class. Well, let's go in. Let's carry on. We'll need to mock globals too and pull out our own custom. So this is going to be from where we are. It should be back twice. Yeah. Globals. Yeah. And not TS. And we're going to return an object straight away. So we can just do this. 2. Kill this, and it's going to be GitHub API token, and I'll just call it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sure. Interesting. That's probably because nothing's happening there. Okay, the env token. Okay, so you're not doing anything. We need to import the API so I can pull in create GitHub API. Cool. Should have brought in an import. Should have, but didn't. Sneaky. Okay, so const API equals create GitHub API. Doesn't take anything. And did we get search results? Oh, there for the happy path. I just return a function. See what happens. So just fn token off requires a token to be set. So is it potentially? It's definitely not hitting the mock. That's what's happening there. Because otherwise, let's tell it right. Maybe I need to return the default as this. Because it does a splat. Feels a bit weird. Wait, no. Missing you. OctoKid is not a constructor. Great. That's not. It still leaves us with that same problem of not having a class. Doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel right. Locked class. I do it with another class. I've had a working example of bubble just. In it. Did I just use a mocks folder? Yeah, would be. Bit weird. Let's see. Yeah, I still got the same error. I love this. This is how you ship a lot of code. Just keep figuring out what each individual unique test case looks like. Why do I not know this? That's not good enough. Just manual mocks. Yep, sure. How to mock these classes. That's exactly my problem. Config about.js range, test and server. We could just export anything. Yeah, they're using a real model. They're just making a replacement. Okay. Right, class. Yep, cool. The default now is going to be octofake. Mock octofake. All right, chill out. So it doesn't strike me as the right thing. If we just return the mock. Invalid. Oh, right, yeah. That's it. Okay, so lowercase. API.authenticate, it's not a function. That's good. Just .fn, sure. Is that how you do it? I don't know how to do this. Okay, so it's around, and then it runs the normal function. So could it just be that? No. No, okay. So we make it a real function, give it real work, and do return that. And right? TS-lint's fighting with it. Okay, public, sure. Okay. Wait, well, so I should be able to expect API dot authenticate to have been called. right? Right? What does it return? It implies that's the real one. Cool. That's my fake. Oh, the function is that. So I need to make authenticate be that thing. It's like one of these funky getters things that I've seen before. Property getters, maybe? Maybe that's like a thing in Swift. There we go. So I want this. Can I just do this then? And I'll get called with that. Do I have to do public then? Is that what was giving me problems earlier? Yeah. Don't write much class stuff. I mean, that's looking good. Does it need to be a real one then? There we go. Okay. So some interesting hacks there. Expect this to be called with, we can just get it directly from here. Alright, the undefined is obviously a little bit worrying, but we can work with it. Expect, but then the second time it actually did work. What's with that? Is it different each time? So one time it passes, another time it fails. What? Also, let's just make this ignore on the. Thanks. So, what have we got? This is really confusing to read. So we set up the globals. We set up the AutoKit mark. Right, but is that consistently? Yeah. Okay. I'll take it. All right. Next up, we got upload readme. This should be this should be tricky to test. Because I'm pretty sure there's a few things. So upload readme test.ts. Okay, so let's get that on that side. All right. So test one's going to take one thing. We'll just take this and just give it something. All right. So we have AutoKits in there, which is, we've got our fake there, so we could use that. It's a good question if this is even being used. Okay, this is only being used for its definition, so we probably don't need that. We got AWS, which we'll probably need to do. We'll need that mock for the AWS bucket. Test bucket, sure. We're gonna need that. We don't need this, so we should have a think about what that is. All right, it's one function, so let's squeeze in. Okay, so the tests upload readme, so upload readme, import it. Okay, so what does this do? It makes a call to API repos, and then it makes an S3 upload. They're the two actions that are happening in that function. So we're going to need, ideally, a test for both. So first, we'll have a describe block for it. So we can talk about both bits. Handling uploads, and then it creates an API. That's not strictly true, so it's more like it uses the GH API to grab the readme. Yeah. Okay, cool. Right and right. Cool. So passing tests. So the first thing we're going to need to do is we have at least 3 things that we can pass in here. So we can pass in a fake API, which should be easy because then we can mock the values that go into this. Let's see if we can get a real pod spec. So maybe we'll put it in fixtures, and that's tiny, so we'll just write that in. So we need a real pod spec in here, so let's throw it in here, because we'll probably end up using it elsewhere. So let's grab one from CocoaPods, pods/area, yeah, sure, this one. It's a thing that does our tiled zoom tiled things. I mean, 300 amps, good on them. It's pretty hard stuff, pretty hard code, this one. Pod spec. Okay, grab the raw. Cool, take this. What's it called? AR tiled image view? Yeah. Cool. Right, there's our example. So we're gonna need to pull that in. So we need to do, can I just type read file sync? Yep, cool. That should import it. Pod spec. So read, same folder, so fixtures/AR tiled images JSON. Yeah, we say UTF-8, and we JSON.parse it, and we're good. Cool. That gives us a real JSON thing to work with, assuming it doesn't. Oh, let's actually turn this into a little function because we'll copy and paste it later. So I need path. Well, if I type in join, will it give me the real one? Yeah, that's the one I want. So I need fixtures, that, and what's the dir name? Cool. All right, there we go. This will make it work on Windows too. I mean, it's really not actually a thing we care about. Well, it is something we care about. You never know if someone is contributing to a Mac OS software project on Windows. But plus, it's just better. It's just better, you know. Okay, so next up, we're gonna need we got our pods for our first one. We need an API, so we'll fake that one. The only function that gets called is repos get readme, so we'll just make it. So repos, yep, get capitals now, get readme, and that's gonna be a jest.fn. Okay, cool. And then we'll need a repo. So I can't remember what that looks like. Owner name, whatever. Should we get it proper from the JSON? Tiled. So name is DB. Reference is this. I assume this is the same. Or maybe it was like this. Not certain. Href can just be. It's probably the full git ref. For like a day, and I've already forgotten all this stuff. Okay, so we've mocked out. We've got dummy data for all those things, but we are going to definitely need to mock out AWS S3. It's going to have one function called upload. So let's do the other thing. Mock AWS free. I'm really funny. Mock AWS free, and then we do that. It's gonna have yeah, okay, so it's gonna have upload equals jest.fn, yeah, public, yeah. maybe I go cancel this entirely. TSLint, yeah. Probably copy paste this. So guess. Oh, I can just put false probably. Cool. I could probably get away with it now. Yeah, cool. All right, just muck. AWS. Let's see, library called AWS SDK. Okay, so it's gonna have. It will be exactly the same as what I just did. So what does it look like? So that just returns the class straight away. But this won't return the class straight away. This needs to return an object that I can then pull out S3 from. And that will return the class. Cool. So I'm going to end up losing the reference to this, which is a little bit rough. Let's see what happens when we try to do it though. Obviously, yo, grab the README. So we call this upload README. It's going to take in a pod spec, then it's going to take in our API, and it's going to take in repo. Cool. We need to tell us there's any, we'll just accept it. Better. Cool. Let's see what happens. Okay, perfect. So if I take this, I can get out the list of things. Oh yeah, I don't know if you can hear my music. Maybe I'll see if I can put it on as like a little bit at the bottom. Wait, no, it's probably not recording screen audio. Yeah, sorry, all ear loss. Okay, so we verify that a README is called, so that gets all the details, including our custom header. And then we also should verify somehow the S3 upload is called, and that's a tad tricky. So, in theory, maybe we could actually return that, which is a little bit weird. We're returning the awaited promise, so it should actually be done. But let's see what upload actually is. Yeah, nothing. Right, getting nothing. Okay. But should it be a promise? Is that the real one? Should it be the jest.function? Where was that? This. No. Ah, this. 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 Is it possible it's not mocking it correctly? Okay, there's 3. The way that I always test my jest.mocks is just by re-implementing what they have underneath. Wait, what did they do? Right, yeah, got too much. So I can just verify what that is. So that's not great. That should be this. Do I need, this is where it gets complicated. Is it like default to this? Well, I mean, it isn't actually being used yet, right? Like, could be null. Okay, so that's this. But that still returns a promise. But S3, the upload here should be just a function. Still feels wrong to me. All right, I'm throwing a debugger in. Do I get my debug button? There it is. Come back. Oh, I think you need a broken test to make it do it. It'd be really good if it detected that there's a debugger inside the test closure. That'd be a good feature. That would be a good feature. Should think of doing that. Okay, so how do I make it fail? I'll just do that. I could do this before. Thanks. And debugger should reshow. There we go, cool. All right. So it's a pending promise. This doesn't feel great to me. I think it's definitely. We also need. I suppose that's not crashing. Oh, I guess README. This will just be undefined, so it's not terrible, but that doesn't feel good to me. That should be dying. Okay, so we've come to the conclusion that I don't quite know what's going on there. I'm gonna jam this in here instead then. Stop my testing and rerun the debugger. Useful feature that. Okay, cool. AWS S3 is not a constructor. I mean, is it possible that that catch isn't catching it? And the question is, I mean, this is the wrong URL. Why was this not coming up in the... That seems suspicious to me. All right. I'm just gonna call it for now. I want to keep some momentum. So kill both of you. Hell you. You're not terminal anymore. I want my output for this. I think I just typoed that. Cool. Okay. I'm calling that. It's forward momentum. It uses the right. Strictly speaking, that test is correct. It just doesn't happen to verify that it also uploads. Okay. So I mean that is the first responsibility of that test. Fine. Okay. How do you deal with when you feel a little bit bad about your tests? You start working on scoping it down a little bit. So this is just going to return the actual natural README. So we can just verify that. Plus it keeps a bunch of work that's not related to it out of it. So get readme, was it? No, grab readme, grab readme. Sure. It's pod API repo. Cool. It's a promise, so we await it. Okay, cool. We grab the readme and then we do it. So, like, now, strictly speaking, that this test is grabbing the readme. This needs to call a different function. Cool. Now, I don't need to feel bad at all around that aspect of the code. I can just feel bad about this. At least this is fully covered. Okay, so next, you can see that like it's actually catching a real error, which in that test, at least it was. Right? That's grab readme. That's grab readme. Is that imported? It's not used now. This doesn't return in. This returns a string, so I can actually could validate the return value if I cared. I do that by making this actually return a value. And now I think I can trust this. Okay, so we're gonna keep moving. How long has this been so far? 31 minutes. Writing some tests. See if we can get a little bit of feature work done. So we've got this. This is now set up. This is now set up. So I think we want to actually look into hooking up to Postgres, because that's what our trunk database is. So let's look on npm.js. For Postgres, I'm pretty sure I've used one of two of these before. I just can't remember the name of them. Pure JavaScript implementation, maybe? I mean, I don't need speed, but I do need stability. So what else is the options? Sequelize, Postgres, that's barely used. PG Promise, I bet PG is the one that everything's based on. Yeah, so that's pretty good. Yeah, 1.5 million. I'm good with that. Okay, cool. Not much there. So let's add it. Yeah, add PG at types/PG. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna need a. We got pod spec. Let's make a new folder for trunk. Nice and simple. That finished. Yeah, cool. So that added a few. At 18. Okay, cool. Okay. So what does it look like to use it? Go into the big documentation link. So you pull out client and you make a thing of it. You make it connect. Okay. So let's have a setup function that does all this for us. That can be called at the start of the server. So that's going to be import from PG, right? Yep, cool. We're going to have a let db of the type client equal null. Yep. Hacks. So now I need to connect. So const connect, blah, blah, blah. And then they just do some stuff. So new client expects a config or a string. So that string's probably a trunk URL. Didn't I already put this in globals? No, I have this in .env, I think. trunk webhook secret and trunk database URL. So both of those need to be in there. Cool. Keeps all our stuff documented. Trunk specifies a secret webhook URL to respond on. The Postgres URL for trunk DB. Cool. Okay, so they're in there. Yeah, we can't build the server without any of those, so we should add them into the list too. Webhook. Cool. Can pull this out from here now. So that's trunk database URL. Yep. Let's make it async so we can do that client.connect. So then we know that it's finished. Okay, is that it? Yeah. Okay, and then just execute some Postgres. I mean, ideally we're not writing raw Postgres code, but we may be. Okay. So I guess we can get away with that. Okay, so how are they in there? It's in the git ignore, right? It's definitely a git file as well. Let's kill the bottom bit. Okay. I think I can get one of these from my local. So post to go. Start up a Postgres 2. It's a minor version, so that's not a worry. This is great. It's my local. Really? Oh, right, yeah. Okay, so I could get probably. What? Do you think that's just a default? I can just press connect and it'll just take me in. Yeah. I connected it to the DB of order. Okay. I mean, let's put it in env.sample anyway. So, wait. I was kind of hoping that would give me a proper URL. Do you reckon there's one? Copy special. Connection. No. Okay, I know I can get a copy of this. I have to select. No, I don't have to. So if I go CocoaPods, metrics. I mentioned it earlier. Env. Somewhere we need an env file. Yeah. That is what a default one would look like. Cool. Probably throw that in my actual. I'm gonna create a .env that I'll use for myself. Gonna set that. I was gonna take all these. What else am I gonna need? So in this, should quote it just for good luck. Okay, kill you. Need all those in there, otherwise things are gonna crash. So access key, trunk, database, webhook secrets in there. 123, 123, 123, 123. There's no GitHub access token. Let's just do that for now. Okay, cool. That should set up a connection to a database. We're gonna have a thing for updating something. Update pod, sure. It's gonna be a function. It's gonna ideally, like the thing that comes in is going to be the metadata that exists inside the database. So right now that would look like metrics, not metrics, CocoaDocs. There we go. So some of the stuff in here. So ideally things that we can handle. Maybe we'll just try it as small as possible for now. So an interface, like CocoaDocs row, sure. It'll definitely need a pod ID. That's a number. It's gonna need, I assume I maintain these. String. I'm guessing. Oh, I don't need commas in this one. Yeah. License short name. It's not the ideal way of writing it, obviously, but since canonical URL rendered readme is pretty much the initial reason I want this. So rendered readme URL. Probably need the same for changelog URL. We'll do that pretty soon. Dominant language is feasible too. Maybe a rendered summary eventually. And then stuff like Carthage or SPN sports trivial to add. Okay, so check for existing, create update, right? Okay. So Postgres, how do we do how do we do a search for something? All right, so let's say SQL query, select. Well, I'm going to verify that anything is there, right? So I can't just, I need to do two things. So first I need to select, get pod based on its name, and that gives me its ID. So first check for that. Like it should definitely exist because this will be later on down the line. Search via pod ID. Okay. What does it take to make a search in SQL? I can't remember anymore. So pods where ID. I think that actually worked. Great. Wait, that doesn't work. That's not what I wanted. I don't know if it's in there. Is it name? Yeah, it is. Anyone, someone that knows Postgres is going to be like, ugh. Alright, Postgres. Search for field. Filed. Close. Insert into, we don't need an insert. Create or replace. So I don't have a space. Oh. Okay, that wasn't it. Okay. Post, even spelled like all of it wrong. Find all tables, search all columns. Search by ID, sure. It might just be close enough. Where ID equals, it feels like, right? It's from where, I mean, that seems pretty similar to what they're saying there. So why does it work for, like, column? Wait, no, yeah, this is definitely. Do I need name in here? Where name in. Select all from table where name in. Oof, this is so much. This doesn't. Why am I struggling? In place there's like 2 quotes, so let's just. Oh. I tried. Do we have raw right? I don't think we write raw SQL in here. No. But we might in. Maybe this does. Probably this actually. Also, pod metrics. No, this is all meta. Yeah. Search. Postgres. Find by field. Isn't that what I did at the beginning? Search the tables for column. No, it's still not what I want. Why is my really simple request hard to do? I mean, that's just intense, isn't it? Select from where case when in when? What does when do? No, it's like Postgres. Find. That could be it. As an examples now. It's like a string or string, right? Wait, oh, it adds them together. Oh, that's nice. Doesn't that seem right? Come on, what is this? What? select table name from this, right? Where column name equals. I mean, I really don't, like, this is lowercase too. So just like pods from, doesn't make sense, does it? Sure. uh, like, and what is this? So I'm pretty sure there's like, oop, no. Oh, duh. There's like a filter thing. There's like, I mean, I could use that. Right, so supposed to go. Show me what I did wrong. So that's where it was. I mean, sure. So this where statement is many things. So this could be like name, and then that could be AR tiled image view, and that's not that anymore. It's not pods. I mean, it's good for me. So, and that was a 10, 20 minute. Now we got a SQL query, and it's probably taken a long time. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna call it at this point. So let's have a look at what we actually got done. Alright, so I added the details into trunk, and added an access token as an environment variable, added the dependency of PG. This changes every time, and it gets changed back by Prettier. That forced people to know about those things that it was setting. We validated that API got checked, and validated that grabbing the README was actually done. Just minor refactoring there. I got rid of class name, added some dependencies, 18 specifically, and that was it. Man, and that took 50 odd minutes. Takes time. All right. So, there's also work in progress on the connection to the trunk DB. Cool. All right, it's gonna write the tests, and that's everything. Damn it. Ugh, can't command click on it. Should fix that for them. That's probably this. Cool. Ah, it still passed. Should it have? Ah, well. I mean, oh, it might. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Okay. Thanks, everyone. You have to figure that one out too.